Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy D Wayne bringing you yet another YouTube video at this time. So we're going to be talking Tenpai dragons in this video today. Now, as you guys can see on your screen, this is a deck list that I've been, testing during the initial stages for, just for discussing in this video in specific. So basically, these are a group of fire dragon type monsters who are based off of the Chinese. With that, I'll go briefly over the deck profile and then I'll talk about the archetype itself. Alright, so let's begin. We got one blaster, three of the Tenpai Dragon Zangdora, three Tenpai Dragon Bidora. We also have three Tenpai Dragon Fedora, two Burners, three Ash, three Veilers, one Feather Duster, one copy of Fire Recovery, one Terraforming, two copies of Oil, two Twin Twisters, three copies of Sengen Kaiman, three copies of Bremen Senken Matter, two Imperms, three Ghosts Match, two Rivalry of the Warlords, and two Solemn Judgments for the main deck. Extra deck, we got a Bloody Rose Dragon, two of the Super Dragon Transcend Dragon, two Trident Dragon, two Rise Dragon Biden Dragion. That name is such a tongue twister. To one Black Rose Dragon, one Blaze, the Supreme Ruler of Dragons, one Pod Ship Amber Whale, one copy of Promethean Princess, one Nightmare Phoenix, one Hilda the Flame Charmer, one Sunlight Wolf, and one dual little Chimera to round out the extra deck. So let's basically talk about the archetype in itself. So as I said, they are a group of fire dragon type monsters. Obviously, when you see dragon type monsters, we roll out collective eyes because we already know that dragons have quite literally the most support in the entire game, hands down. Nothing is coming close to that. And to be honest, they could have been worms and no one would bat an eye to it. I think they probably would have been better as a worm type, archetype. But anyway, they focus around synchro summoning, which is hands down one of my favorite summoning mechanics, period. So that's probably why I share an interest in this deck. Alright, so let's talk about the cards in specific. So Zendora is a level 4, 1500 attack, 1000 defense. It is a fire dragon tuner. Oh, and they all have the ability to synchro summon during the battle phase or the main phase, like the quick synchro and formula synchro and type of stuff. So yeah, and they also revolve around the battle phase. So that's pretty much the main gimmick of this deck as a whole. Alright, so once per turn during the battle phase, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolves. Synchro summon using this card you control. Like I said, during the battle phase, synchro summoning dice on your battle phase, my battle phase. It doesn't matter as long as it's on the battle phase, we can quick synchro. Alright, you can only use the following effects of Tenpai Dragon Zangdora once per turn. For controlling fire dragon type monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. It's pretty nice. I control a fire dragon, yes, so it could be any one of the other ones, or even including the synchros. Because they're all fire dragons. Trident dragons are also a fire dragon. Black Rose is also a fire dragon, so any fire dragon, you can special summon this card. Alright, and next, if at the end of the damage step, if a monster battles, you can special summon one level 4 or lower fire dragon monster from your deck. So I've level 4 lower fire dragon monster from your deck. So you can summon Burners, you can summon any of the other Tenpai monsters. Can you summon itself? No, you cannot summon another copy of itself. Okay, so you can summon any of the other fire ones, and you can summon Burn as well. So this card's a pretty decent start. It's a tuner that can essentially summon itself. Pretty solid for a field presence. Obviously, you want to use this tuner. You use the Secret Summon into your synchros, of course, so it has some decent utility there, while being able to, get another of your fire dragons to the deck during the damage step. So Yes, pretty solid. Next we have Tenpai Dragon Bidora. This is a level 3 Fire Dragon, 1700, 1000 defense. If this card is normal or special summon, you can take one Sengen spell trap from your deck and either add it to your hand or set it. So he's mentioning, Spec is mentioning these two cards, the Sengen Kaiman and the Sengen Manor. So it also mentions trap, so we may get a trap for them as well. Alright, so next part of the effect. Once per turn, you take no battle damage from battles involving your Fire Dragon monsters. So while he's on the field and your monsters are in attack position and they're battling, you don't take any damage. Once per turn during the battle phase, quick effect, synchro summon. So all three of these have that effect in common. So the unique effects of being able to search out your spell and traps is definitely solid. When I get to the field spell, that's essentially going to be another searcher for the deck as well. Alright, so next we're going to be talking about Tenpai Dragon Fedora. Now this is a level 3 Fire Dragon, 1600 attack, 1000 defense. This card is special summon or at the start of the damage step. Or if this card is normal or special summon or at the start of the damage step. For monster battles, you can target one level 4 or lower Fire Dragon monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So, special summons any of your other two. Also, you can special summon your burners as well. So this is also solid for field presence and doing your single plays during the battle phase, which is this deck's main gimmick. So, alright. So next part of the effect, once per turn, Fire Dragon monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. So while this is on the field, in tandem with this, neither one of your dragons can be destroyed by battle, and if you're dealing with something piercing or whatever the case may be, you don't take any battle damage while in defense mode or in attack mode as well. So this is also solid because it's a blanket effect on both effects, so both of them have blanket protection from battle and damage altogether. Last part is the quick single part, so I'm not going to go over that again. Alright, so that is it for that. So we have Burner. Let's talk about the spells and traps. Sengen Kaiman. This is a quick play spell. This card is activated outside the battle phase. Apply one of these effects if it was activated during the battle phase. Apply any of them in sequence. First effect is add one of the 4 lower Fire Dragon monster from your deck to your hand, and especially one Fire Dragon monster from your hand. The second effect does not specify level, so you can summon a blaster if you happen to have it in your hand, or any of the high level dragons you may want to incorporate into this deck should you see fit to do so. Otherwise, activating its effect during the battle phase is actually pretty solid. You can essentially search for any of your dragons and special summon it in the battle phase. And of course, that triggers, since it's during the battle phase, it triggers their quick effects, synchro effects, that allows you to synchro summon during the battle phase when you activate this card. Alright, so this is definitely a solid card in and of itself. Excellent searcher, decent on the summoning ability, quick play, really solid card. Next we'll be talking about the field spell for them. This is Burning Sengen Manor. Field spell. Fire Dragon monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects during your main phase 1 only. So this is essentially good for when you're setting up plays, when you're doing your synchro shenanigans and activating the effects of your dragons. Your opponent can't really or affect them with anything, say for they want to try to Veiler your Bidor when you try to search for something, or they want to Imperm or Ash because we're trying to search for something. None of that works on Bidor while the field spell is on the field. So this effect is essentially good to help the deck set up its synchro plays and set up boards in general. Alright, nextly, during your main phase, you can add one Tenpai Dragon monster from your deck to your hand, and then discard one card. So, of course, this is more consistency for the deck, of course. Bidor such as spells and traps This searches for your monsters. This also searches for your monsters as well. So we have 3 consistency cards to, you know, ensure that you're able to make your plays off at any point. Alright, last effect, you can only use the effect of the mana once per turn. If this card is destroyed during the battle phase, you can target one dragon synchro monster you control. His attack becomes double. So of course this combos with Trident Dragon, which you guys should already have known and seen, you know, dual videos. Trident Dragon does this thing where it pops the, you know, you can synchro summon into this during the battle phase using the effects of the Dragon monsters to synchro summon into this. You'll pop the field spell during the battle phase, and you'll use the field spell's effect on the Trident Dragon, make it a 6,000 attack, give you 2 to 3 attacks depending on what you're destroying at the time. So that's the main purpose behind all of that. Alright, so definitely a solid field spell, searchability, that unaffected by activated effects during your main phase 1 is really solid because this deck would struggle against hand traps because you're searching. That makes you susceptible to Ash, Veil, and Imperm, so it's definitely important to have this card out while you're setting up plays. Alright, we're going to go into the extra deck and talk about the synchros. So this is the level 7 synchro. This is Sangan Rise Dragon, Bident Dragon. This is level 7, 2600 attack, 2000 defense, requiring a dragon tuner and 1 or more non-tutor dragon monsters, so these are not generic. Either one of them are not generic, which is good. Definitely solid. I like to play this in a dragon specific deck. Why not? But anyway, if this card is synchro summoned, you can target 1 fire dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Once again, it doesn't specify levels, so if you have other, high level dragons or even the level 4 level dragons you may have in the grave at the time, because you're going to use 2 dragons to summon this anyway, so you can use this effect to summon any of the other dragons you use to summon it to the field. So in the case of Rise Dragon's effect, summoning a fire dragon from the graveyard, you can summon Tenpai Dragon Fedora, and then since you use 2 dragons to summon it, you can use the Fedora to special summon either your Bidora or your Zangdora, whichever dragons you happen to have in the graveyard at the time, and that'll actually facilitate, if you summon the Zangdora, it'll facilitate another synchro play. Alright, so that's pretty solid in itself there. Alright, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except dragon monsters, which is good. So you can't really abuse the effect like that. It's very restricted into the type of, the deck you're playing at the moment, which is good. Alright, once per turn, if 3 or more attacks have been declared this turn, quick effect, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, and you can destroy 1 spell trap card on the field. You only use this effect of Sangan Bident Dragon once per duel. Honestly, well, I've seen a couple other people talk about this, they complain about the once per duel stuff, but there are multiple ways to summon dragons. To summon this card onto the field, you don't really have to worry about using its own effect to summon itself when you have multiple ways to do so. Even by its own first effect, you can special summon another copy of this card, because it doesn't specify what level of the dragons you're going to summon. So if you have 2 of these, you can special summon another copy of it. So, alright, so the once per duel thing is, while it may be an annoyance, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Alright, so next we're going to talk about the boss monster of the deck. So this is Super Dragon Transcendent Dragon. So this is a fire dragon, of course, level 10 with 3000 attack and defense, requiring once again a tuner and a non-tuner dragon monsters. If this card is synchro summoned, you can change all monsters on the field to attack position. All your opponents, well, that's important here because the battle phase, you want your opponent's monsters in attack position so that you can attack into it. That's even during your opponent's battle phase when you're doing your synchro summon. During their turn, you can synchro summon into this, and it forces your monsters, into attack position. Forces your opponent's monsters into attack position, and then that'll feed its second effect. If it's the only card in the field, all the opponent's monsters must attack if able. So if this is the only monster on the field, all the opponent's monsters will be attacking into this, which goes into its next effect. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during the battle phase. So if you summon this monster during the battle phase, specifically on your opponent's battle phase, they all must attack into this, and there's nothing they can do while the battle is going on. So that second effect is actually really solid. It feeds into OTKs along with combo with Trident Dragon. Essentially make sure your OTK with Trident Dragon goes through, because if they can't activate anything during the battle phase, they can't stop Trident Dragon's attacks. Especially when it's doubled, its attack is doubled off the field spells effect, which I'll be showing you guys, because I have 2 example games that I'll be showing you guys as well. Alright, so far my thoughts on the archetype as a whole before I get into the example games. They seem cool. Not a competitive archetype by any means. It's definitely something fun. The OTK is essentially the bread and butter of the deck as a whole. It's playable on its face, with the initial support we got from the deck for the archetype. But I'm curious to see what new support they will get from it. Alright, so those are my thoughts overall. Let me know what you guys think of Tenpai Dragons in the comments. Alright, so next is let's go into the example game so that you guys can see the deck in action. Alright, so this is the first game. Facing off against the AI, so you can ignore the plays that they make. They don't really, AI is not really good for practice, but it's good to mainly to see the deck in action. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this. Oh, this is another blue card I did mention about, Oil. As this card essentially feeds into this deck as it adds 2 level 4 or lower fire monsters with different names in your graveyard to your hand. So it's essentially a savage for fire monsters, which is really good for decks like this, and it also is good for Fire Kings as well. Alright, so it's basically a short synopsis there. It's actually a pretty solid card for fire decks as a whole. Alright, I put this in attack mode here, because of course its second effect allows your monsters to not be destroyed by battle. This also includes itself. So essentially I just put up a wall just to start off, because this hand is definitely not the optimal hand to start with. So there you go. So the opponent's going to do his stuff. See? Protected by battle. Alright, now we're going to be able to do some plays now. Field spell adds. See, as I control another fire dragon, I can special summon this to the field, and then we'll start making synchro plays here. Let's see, when I told you guys in the discussion, if this will special summon this, and this will allow you to get another monster to the field as well as per its effect. So this deck has the ability to generate some decent field presence for synchro plays. See, this effect activates during the damage step. If if your monster battles, you can special summon a level 4 lower dragon type from your deck. As you can see here, it's during the battle phase, so of course I'm going to use his Badora's quick synchro effect, so we can go ahead and proceed further into plays from here. As you can see here, Sengen Kaiman, they're activated during the battle phase. I search for the Fedora and then special summon it. So of course, you're seeing the battle phase gimmick in action here. Of course, this also has the quick synchro effect. So I'm synchroing into Trident Dragon, and of course, Trident Dragon's effect is going to activate here. I'm going to pop these two. The field spell is going to activate, giving a 6,000 attack, and then I'm just going to finish up the game. Also keep in mind, this effect, the second effect, is in effect here. The opponent can't activate anything during the battle phase here. Right, also, since 3 attacks were declared here, I can special summon this from the graveyard and then pop a spell and trap on the field. And then I take the win from there. Alright, so I got one more game for you guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. Start off with standard play, setting the field spell. I'm going to search off. Summon here, synchro. Summon, and then I'm going to summon again. Set here, and I'm just going to, this is important here, so you can actually just sit on this field here and wait for your opponent to do something. Also keep in mind Gozen match here. I play Gozen and Rivalry here. Since the deck consists of fire dragons, you can restrict your opponent to one attribute and one type of monster if you happen to have both of them on the field. It doesn't affect you, of course, because you're essentially running into that type. That's what you're playing, but your opponent may be controlling may use multiple attributes and multiple types, so essentially be a stun on them. So this, having Gozen and Rivalry is good for, giving the deck some stun ability, because the deck is essentially focused around the battle phase, and during the main phase 1 with your field spell, so it's weak during other phases of the turn. So it's important to have either something to stun your opponent or hand traps to interact with your opponent as well, especially during their main phase, because you aren't doing anything on their main phase. When you activate the Harpy Felldust, that hurts a bit, but it's not too bad. Remember, during the damage step, special summons from the deck. This will give me a search. I'll set the field spell again since the Harpy spell does it. Opponent's doing anything here. They're going to end one in Avermax here. Alright, this is going to be an interesting interaction here. Firstly, let's talk about Avermax very briefly. He has 2 effects that activate during the battle phase. I want you to keep in mind that the Super Dragon Transcend effects activates. Well, it doesn't activate, it prevents monsters from activating their effects during the battle phase. Avermax effects activate during the battle phase, so this is effectively a hard counter to Avermax. So we're going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to go ahead and show you how I get over this Avermax. Activate field spell. Summon Fedora, synchro summon. Get a search off. Battle phase. Synchro into Trident Dragon. Pop that. Double. Activate. Also, Avermax has a second effect that if it was sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle back a monster, on the opponent's field back into the deck. But since the second effect of Transcendent Dragon is active, you cannot activate this effect of Crusadia to shuffle back anything. Alright, so let's finish up here. And of course, once again, 3 attacks were declared, and we can special summon the Bided Dragon from the graveyard. And I'm just pretty much styling here. And we're done. Alright, so overall thoughts. There's definitely something solid. The OTK is really good. The Trias Dragons, like I said, make sure that the OTK goes through. The second effect is probably the best, part of this deck's gimmick, because it allows it to do what it wants to do during the battle phase, because your opponent cannot activate that. Alright, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think of the Tenpai Dragons in the comments, and of course, I will leave that at that. So I'll be bringing you guys more videos in the meantime, but until then, peace, YouTube.